Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to talk about the Arcade 1UP Infinity game table. You guys know I've done a lot of videos on this thing over the last couple years. Since it's been released, it is a digital board game table that has access to over 100 different board games, ranging from kids games to adult games to everything in between. And I've had a lot of fun with it over the past couple years, and today I wanted to do a quick video on my top 8 all-time games that I play still to this day on the Infinity game table. Forzy is the first game we're going to be talking about here. This is a similarity to like games like Connect 4 and stuff like that, when you can play 1v1. And what's cool about this is you can play either across or side by side. They have a bunch of different variety of maps and stuff like that, as you guys are looking at here. You can choose your own Forzy characters. And what's cool about this game is it's like Connect 4. You're trying to match 4 of your Forzis to be in a line with Connect 4 style gameplay, but as you can see, each of these maps has its own unique twist. Like this one here is telling you the rules of the game. Forzis can't enter or move through this space, so anytime there's grass, the Forzi will stop right in that spot and it won't go any further. And each of these maps has their own distinct idea of how to actually play it. You can also see that the group areas, they also won't pass through as well. They will stop right where it is, and if another group is there, it will be pushed off. So it adds a lot of strategy and different unique things that you can do to try and match 4 of these in a row. You can see right here, you're just moving your groups around the table, trying to be the one that matches all of them, and you can see exactly what's going on. You're trying to match 4 of these in a row, as you guys are seeing here, and then you try to block each other, just like Connect 4. You may put one there, and you know that person is now blocked, and you're going back and forth. It's a really cool version of Connect 4, a lot prettier, obviously, than the other Connect 4. And like I was talking about, each of these maps have their own distinct ideas. Like this one here has icy levels, so the ice will create friction and will stop on the second row that it enters when they move it. So you can see now it moves to the second one there. So all of these maps have their own different ideas. You can see here how it moves over ice. It kind of slips all the way across. So again, the strategies for this are kind of all over the place, and really as a strategic game to the basic game of Connect 4, it is super fun. Hughes and Qs is actually the next game that we're going to be talking about. You can play this with up to 10 players on here, which is really awesome. We're going to do that just to showcase how it works, but this is a game based on a real-life board game that a lot of us may have purchased at Target or other places as well. You can decide how many points you want to play up to and stuff like that, which is great. And basically what's going to happen here is you're going to be guessing what color somebody may have, and you can see all the players go around the board and stuff like that. You can see this person is the clue giver, and you hide this and then you kind of tap it to see, and you can see the one-word clue. So basically what happens is that you tap whatever color you actually want to use. Let's say that I want to use B8. That's the one I'm going with. I go ahead and tap it, and now I have to give everyone else around the table a clue on what that color may resemble. So I could say things like fire, but you got to remember that people may point fire at different shades of red, and they basically go around the table, and you go ahead and you can see it's this person's turn. They go ahead and put their piece wherever. If I said fire, they might have put it there. They can go ahead and hit done. Then the next person goes around the table, and they have to go and put it around wherever they think. And then whoever gets the closest to the color that I was suggesting it actually being is the one that gets the points. Once everyone has put 2 guesses on the board here, then everyone is going to score their points. You can see where the actual one was, so those people get, if you get it right in the middle, you get a certain amount of points. The people next to it get another, and then the people next to it again get another. It's a really fun party game. It's been around for a while. Hughes and Qs, a really fun guessing game and strategy game that you're trying to explain, and it's awesome that it plays up to that many people on this table. Oh No is the next game we're talking about here. If you guys can kind of remember a game that plays just like this with a different name, you know exactly what game we're talking about here. You can select a number of players. You can play with a mixture of bots or players, and we're just going to go ahead and leave it on bots for now, but of course you can play with any number of players that you want to, and it is a really good looking game. I like the color style of this, and obviously it plays just like you would expect the game of Oh No to play, and it shouts it out and stuff like that when it's your turn. You draw 2 sounds like that. Uno when you hit this over here, otherwise you will end up drawing a card. Oh No, there you go. That's the version of the game. He gave me the draw 2, and then you obviously go back and forth. He gave me another draw 2, and you guys know how this game works, but it is really fun to play with 4 players. Pixel Push Football is a really familiar game to a lot of us who went to school and stuff that played paper football that we put to the edge of the table and then try to score points. This is that game brought onto this table, and then just like you see here, you're playing the game of paper football. You're taking turns back and forth, and you're trying to basically score it. On the other side, ooh, we just got that, didn't we? Let's go, touchdown, perfect shot. That was great. As you can see there, and now we're going for the extra point. You can attempt a 1-pointer or a 2-pointer. 1-pointer, you just make it on the field goal there, just like back in the day. Ooh, we hit the post there, unfortunately, but this game is super addicting to play with your friends. Obviously, you're going back and forth, trying not to slide it off like the computer just did, and then it's my turn to kind of strike back. Not close that time. and you go back and forth and trying to get the amount of points. But this game is so addicting, and it plays super well on here, and it's great to have like a giant screen to play this. That's a touchdown. There we go, touchdown. Has tournament mode, so you can play with a bunch of different players at home, which is what I love to do during parties. This is one of my top games that I play on here for sure. Sploy is such a cool game. That's the next game we're going to be talking about here, and basically as many as 8 players can join. We're going to go ahead and just put everyone in, and basically what you're doing, you can play on a large board if you want to. You're basically putting all these different bombs on the board, and you're trying to be the last person standing. And this game gets so chaotic. Depending on whose turn it is, you can see their colors and stuff like that. Everyone has a different color. And you can see on the board, it tells you how many times it's going to take before that spot explodes. So basically, when you're going around the table and everyone's putting theirs, when it goes back to the original player, they can put it somewhere else, but they can also put it here, which makes this a 2. When it gets to 4, that's going to explode all the surrounding area. And as this gets chaotic and you start putting more of these out and stuff like that, the board is going to get filled with a bunch of different one of these. Like for example, you can see this one's going to explode at 4, and it's now it's purple's turn. And if I go ahead and hit this one here, you can see it explodes out to the side, and now you take all those over. And the idea is that now all of these have now went up in number 2. So when it's orange's turn again, more of these are going to start exploding. The idea is to be the last one on the board with all of their colors. This is super fun to play with 8 players. We have a blast playing this, and it's super addicting. Tapo is another one that a lot of people probably recognize. This game got hugely popular at Target and stuff like that. You can play with up to 8 players on here, and they really did do a very good version of this on here. It plays just like the Tapo game that you guys remember, where you basically have to use the letters around the table with the category that presents itself. So you go ahead and hit start. You're going around the table, and it tells you whose turn it is. Like this player right here has popped up. Cars and trucks. So I can say things like Jeep, and then I go ahead and tap that, and then the next person has 10 seconds, and you can say the next person goes, and you can say Lamborghini, and then the next person goes, and then around the table until basically everyone is eliminated and they don't get the right word. Like if I go ahead and the player 3 can't think of one for some reason, and they're out, boom, player 3 is out and they get eliminated, and you're trying to be the last one standing. Again, plays really exactly the same as you would expect it to play on the original game that sold at Target. This game has sold millions of copies, and it's great to have this version on here. This next game here is called the Cribage game, and I think a lot of us probably heard of Cribage before, and it plays exactly like you would expect Cribage to play. And this is from a company called Squiggly Frog Studios. This is the company that I think makes the best game on the Infinity game table overall. They do a fantastic job from the third-party developers here, and this game is no different. But this is not the only game that they have, but this is the one that I find myself playing the most. They have a variety of different boards that you can play, as you can see here, based on the Cribage frame and stuff like that. You can see all the different variety that you can play. You can tap with up to 4 players to join. I really like that it keeps track of local leaderboards, and you can even name yourself and stuff like that to let everybody know who your name is, and you can go ahead and just hit start. And then, of course, here is the game of Cribage that you're playing, and you can play with a combination of real players and AI, which is awesome. I love the way that they do their games. I love all the stats that they have on here and all the rules that you can change and stuff like that. You have to cut the deck in the beginning, as you guys remember in Cribage, and then it hands out the cards and all kinds of stuff. It is super fun to play, really addicting. The last game here that we're going to talk about today is Ticket to Ride, probably one of the most famous board games out there that they created on here. Ticket to Ride doesn't need any introduction. I think a lot of us have been playing this game for years, and they did a great job bringing this in here. They have a variety of different maps here that you can buy, like 1910, that you can purchase on here. United Kingdom is all in here, so they do have some variety. The Switzerland pack and all that stuff, the India and Asia. So it's not even just the base game that they have. They have other variety of games as well. We're going to go ahead and just play the standard just to show you guys. And you can see it goes over the rules and stuff like that. Longest route is worth 10 points. All players start with 45 cars. And now you're playing the regular game of Ticket to Ride on here. You have all the cards right there on the side. You can choose your cards that you're picking and which route you're actually going to take. And it tells you which ones you want to take, and then all the different player boards right here telling you the points. I think they knocked it out of the park as far as the integration and how this works with this game. With Ticket to Ride, they did a fantastic job, variety of maps, and just all the noises and the music and stuff that's going on in the background. I think they did a really good job with it. I'm sure you guys have your own favorite games that you play on the Infinity game team, but these are my top 8. There's a lot more games on here. It comes with over 40 games when you first purchase it that are free and ready to play, and then a bunch of other ones that you could purchase on the store. So check out the Arcade 1-Up Infinity game table.